The fourth set will be played on Fighting Spirit. Spawning in the bottom left-hand position as the green Protoss from Clay T. Rolster. His name is Stats, formerly known as the Chintoss, one of the Chintosses.
His opponent spawning as a red Protoss on the left top position of the map. His name is Parting. Just took out Flash in the previous set and now going for the second kill of the day.
Indeed. Not second kill of the day, I guess, if you want to kind of count.
Second kill for himself.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm thinking about Ty. Like, Ty did pretty good, man. Don't forget about Ty. Like, come on. Like, you have to give him credit. He did really good.
He did fantastic.
He got 3 kills, games. Man.
Yeah.
He was pretty dominating, too.
I'm just surprised that Ty doesn't get a chance to go for an all-kill.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's not going for Ty.
Yeah.
He gets into a scenario where he could reverse all-kill their opponent, and he just dies. He just, not die, but gets killed. Well, that doesn't sound right either. He loses at the 4th set.
He dies and gets killed. It's like the same thing pretty much.
Yeah, so he loses right before he goes for the all-kill or reverse all-kill.
Yeah.
That's what's been happening to him, and in the other scenarios, he gets 3 kills and he cannot continue because the game is over.
Yeah, pretty much so. Ty, maybe if he gets sent out as the first player, he can potentially do it. Just really depends.
Yeah.
It really just depends. The stars have to align for him. It's actually not easy to get an all-kill. It's really hard. So if you get an all-kill, they actually record that information because it's like, whoa, this guy actually got an all-kill. You pretty much have just single-handedly thwarted an entire team's plans for a match of Pro League. Think about it. So one person overcomes like up to 5, 7 people maybe even that have gone into testing out the build orders, practicing it, the coach sending and deciding who to send out. There's just a lot of different factors involved, and if you can get that all kill, then it shows that you're a high caliber player.
And what I really like about Pro League is adding in the Winners League series. You know, back in the old days, there was a Pro League, and there was also a team league run by NBC Game, and that was a Winners League format that they used, and they joined the 2 team leagues together to form a massive Pro League starting in 2005. The problem with that, it was just like, you know, there was 2v2 inside it, there was 1v1, and for a long time it was just a 1v1 and 2v2s, but later when they got rid of the 2v2, for 1 round per, you know, the whole season, they turned it into Winners League.
Yeah.
And it was a fantastic choice. Now fans get a mix of the regular team league format and, well, Fast Nexus by Parting.
Fast Nexus from Parting, but
yeah,
just to end your statement, hands down, Pro League's got the best format.
Yes.
Hands down. No one can deny that.
Okay, there we go. And Fast Nexus by Parting. Let's see what Stats is going to do.
Oh, he's going to go for a Fast Nexus as well. Yes. There he goes. Fast Nexus for both players. I'm excited about this because you almost never see this in PvP. And once your opponent scouts this as well, either they cut probes and they try to do some type of all-in against you, or it turns into like just a PvP Phoenix War. But because they both went for the expansions, they may get the Robo afterward, and it just turns into Wings of Liberty World of World style. But we have a Twilight Council going up for Stats here, while the 2 additional gates have been created by Parting.
So Stats can go for a blink. He could transition into DTs right after, but I highly doubt that it's going to be DTs because, you know, those are going to hit a little bit late, and Stats doesn't know that Parting actually went for the fast expansion.
Yeah. And another thing to point out here, it's a 4-player map. You can spawn anywhere. That could be another reason why we do see such an early expansion up, because it's going to be that much harder to punish. 2 additional gateways finishing up here for Stats. Parting not utilizing this Nexus at his natural just yet, but I'm sure he will as soon as he knows it's safe to actually build from that Nexus. We have Blink on the way from Stats here, and Parting, he's going for the Robo, so he'll be able to get those Immortals out. He'll probably go for the counter blink as well, I would imagine. Yeah,
he's the one who's drawing out... actually, Stats is the one who's drawing out the sword a little bit right now, trying to be a little bit more aggressive.
Unsheathing his sword.
While Parting is just trying to play as safe as possible. If he sees a DTs, he can make the Observer right away. If he sees tons of Stalkers come out, he can use the Immortals to defend at the natural base.
Yeah. All right, so Parting adding in a few more Stalkers to the mix here. He's got 4 now outside his opponent's base. And Stats, he will have the Mothership Core there. He may force that down, and oh, looks like he may try the snipe. One of these units down, nice. Time warp going down, and the Stalkers, they do kill off 1 or 2 units there, but the Mothership Core dies. So overall, I'd have to say a pretty even trade on both sides.
Actually, if you just look at the minerals and the gases, it was dead even because Parting got a probe, he got a sentry, but he lost a Mothership Core.
Yeah.
So
dead even, actually. This may prevent Stats from using Hallucinating Phoenixes a little bit more, but that's okay because he's going for that Blink timing. Blink is just about to finish now, and let's not forget, Parting, he won't have access to the Nexus Cannon.
Yeah, he's not going to have the Nexus Cannon, and he's also only building Observers at this time, so he should make an Immortal right after. There we go.
All right, he is chronoing out that Immortal as well, so once the Immortal joins the party, everything should be good for Parting, but until then, things could be a little bit dicey.
It's still a little bit dicey because of the Blink, and you could Blink against Immortals, especially with no Nexus Cannon.
Yeah.
And without the Immortal being finished, that seems like he's going to go in for an attack. He has more Stalkers than his opponent.
All right, good force fields going down. Preemptive force fields, kind of forcing his opponent out here. And the forward blink is shown here. The Mothership Core does go down, and now we have probes being sent off the mineral line. Now this Immortal joining the fight here, and that's going to be too much firepower, but killing off the Mothership Core as well. And now with these additional Stalkers, this could be really bad for Parting. He has more workers right now, but he's forced to use them in the fight here. If Parting can just buy a little bit more time, get a second Immortal out, get a few more ranged units, he should be able to survive here.
Yeah, so for time being, he needs to use the probe within his main army. That just hope that he could surround the Stalkers with the probes. But even if he does get us around, all Stas has to do is blink back.
Okay, second Immortal joining the fight here, and Parting, he will be able to save that second Immortal, but very close
really
there.
Close. Just playing with fire over there, but Parting also needs to be careful because he doesn't know if his opponent has a vision, so he needs to stay at the ramp. That's the reason why he cannot push out too much to get those Blink Stalkers, but slowly he's getting the Immortals out, and now the unit support is Parting looks much better than what we used to have 5 minutes ago.
From Parting, he needs the micro that Zealot, or it's not going to do any damage, but it doesn't matter at the same time. We have a big attack going on at the natural between Parting and Stats and the Immortals. They're not focus firing down on the Blink Stalkers. They were focusing on the Zealots, but we do have 3 Immortals out now, but the worker count 40-30 in the favor of Stats. That Zealot didn't even get to do any damage as the run by, and Stats can just continue putting on the pressure here passively, and Parting is forced to just defend.
Yeah, but he could have gotten a little more damage done by going for the Immortal, and behind the Stats is slightly behind in tech because he doesn't have the Robo for himself, but that Immortal is out of position. It's going to pull back, and Stats does get it in the end.
Stats is just doing amazing here as far as his unit control and trade-offs. Parting falling behind in almost every way at this point. He's down in supply, he's down in workers, and he doesn't have access to the Blink tech. He still has 3 Immortals right now, so he won't die at this point, but he is fighting from being behind, and this Blink Stalkers can just continue to be very cost-efficient, sniping off units here and there.
So at this point, the best scenario for his Parting is just slowly go into Colossus tech and hope that his opponent doesn't have the Robotech at the same time.
Trying to kill off that Immortal there. Doesn't work, but still good attempt from Stats. He's just, really being as annoying as possible with these Blink Stalkers. Another Immortal out on the way from Parting, and he is making the Robotics Bay behind this.
And since Parting knows that the Observer's out on the field, so now he needs to also watch out for the Blink Stalkers going inside the main base. But first he needs to defend against the Stalkers at the natural.
There's 4 Immortals here, so Parting, he should be pretty safe at this point, and he may actually be able to gain a slight advantage for moment's time here. But look at this Stats. He's not really okay. He's getting the double Robo now, but behind this he already has the Twilight Council, and he's adding on a lot of gateways. I think he wants to press his advantage of having that worker lead into the mid to mid late game scenario here. Ooh, look at this as well. We have 4 Stalkers blinking into the main base here. This is not what Parting wants to deal with right now. He's going to have to send some units up there to deal with this, and the Stalkers can just decide to focus down on the probes here. Parting just going to continue to fall behind more and more to these constant pressures.
And also one cell just going towards the Stalkers. The Stalkers inside the main base will get cleaned up, but this just puts Stats so far ahead in the economy wars.
Yeah, I think that the only thing Parting can really do at this point is get a lot of Zealots added into his mix and just go for a big attack.
Once he has a one Colossus out, he should go for it. I mean, yes, there will be 2 Colossus, but Parting has a little more Immortals compared to his opponents. So
yeah, he's down 20 workers. He has to go for an attack here. And army supply-wise, Parting is, it looks like I think he's actually slightly ahead of his opponent here. He has the better unit composition with 5 Immortals. Those are going to tear apart the Stalkers of his opponent, but the Zealot count and the Sentry count is pretty impressive from Stats. This is still going to be a hard attack to hold off for Stats here. He knows it's coming, but can he hold?
Both players have the Colossus out. In fact, Stats has double Colossus, but it's 5 Immortals to 2 Immortals. It's not like Parting cannot go for it just yet. The power of the Immortals, that's what Parting has to believe in right now. That's what he needs to depend on.
He also has the Nexus Cannon to help him defend. These additional Zealots, that's going to trigger Parting to go for an attack here. Here he goes. All right, Nexus Cannon going down, and the positioning, not amazing for Parting, but you know, he is still doing a good amount of damage here. He has good surface area.
What is the Colossus doing?
The Colossus, though, it's not attacking. It's bugged out. And the supplies now, Parting is unfortunately still behind. But he is able to kill off the Immortals here.
Yeah.
His Colossus is still alive. Can Parting actually do it here using those good force fields? He will have some reinforcements. Right now, it's 5 Zealots, 2 Immortals, a Colossus, and 5 Stalkers for Parting.
He needs to wait for the one more round, and it might just give his opponent Stats enough time to get the Colossus out to defend, but Stats could have had a lot easier time defending against this.
All right, here we go, moving in once again. The positioning pretty solid for both players here. The Stalker's moving up, trying to scare away that Colossus, and Parting does have vision there. He's losing a lot of units. Both players are starting to lose a lot of their army here. The Immortals moving behind. Parting still has the Colossus and the 2 Immortals as well, but it's still dead close between each player. And there's no Nexus Cannon. Reinforcement Zealots here as well joining the party. We have the Sentry Guardian Shield going down as well, and another Colossus goes out. I think this may force Parting back.
Yeah, now there's only one more Immortal for Parting at this point. Yes, there is a 3rd Immortal out on the way, but that's on the other side of the map. And Stats, he has enough economy on 2 bases to get the Colossus out. Remember, Stats, during this attack, he didn't lose any single probe.
Yeah, he didn't pull his probes. And the engagement was pretty good from Parting, but the problem is he was already just so far behind.
Yeah.
Imagine if he wasn't behind probe-wise.
Yeah. Actually, both players made a little mistake in the engagement. Yes, we did see the Colossus bugging out a little bit between the Robo and the Nexus.
He wasn't bugging out, he was dancing.
He was dancing? Okay, let's put it that way. But Parting's Zealots were also trapped behind his main army.
Yeah, that's true. He moved in there when the Zealots were still behind the main army mix. All right, Parting moving forward here. And Stats maybe got a little bit over-aggressive, but, you know, it's still a pretty solid surface area for both players. The Immortals moving forward, trying to focus fire down those Colossi. But Parting pushed back here. It looks like Stats just has too much. Time Warp going down. That's going to be it. GG! Stats takes out Parting on Fighting Spirit in the 4th set. And looks like we're getting down to the last 2 players from SK Telecom.
Really back and forth between the 2 teams today, as Sue wins the 1st set, Flash wins the 2nd one, Parting wins the 3rd set, and Stats takes the 4th set on Fighting Spirit.